Retail Bolton Access TV. Oh, there we go. So good evening. It's Thursday, December 12th. This is the Board of Selectmen's meeting. First up on the agenda is the appointment of Amy Clark and Jonathan Schwartz to the Mosquito Response Committee. I think Amy and Jonathan are here.
Present.
There we are. Welcome. Thank you for volunteering. Could you just give us a little bit of background on what your interest in the committee, what you bring to the committee, and what your interest in being on the committee is?
It's not an interview.
Yeah, it's not an interview.
Go ahead.
My name is Jonathan Schwartz. I have been an attorney since 2011. Currently work at a medical device manufacturer focused on women's health care. So I bring a health and safety perspective. Prior to that, I was with Veolia North America, which is a environmental services, energy, water and wastewater company. They do other stuff, but that was the division that I was in. And I worked with all levels of government, federal, state, and local municipalities on public safety with respect to energy, water, and wastewater management. And some of that work was in response to stormwater treatment and pond draining, pond draining and that type of management, which I think comes with part of the work that hopefully the Mosquito Commission will be doing, which is assessing what type of water events that we could tackle.
Okay.
So I'm a equine veterinarian and interested in being on the committee, in particular this year because Tripoli, Eastern Equine Encephalitis was such a big event, affected a lot of horses in the state. And so I bring some medical experience with understanding life cycles of diseases and vectors, and as a veterinarian we do work with zoonotic diseases and concern for public safety. So
Good. So we'll have a committee. We'll have someone on the committee who knows what zoonotic means.
That's right.
That would be.
That's right. So we've got two fine applicants.
We do.
Thank you. And so I will take a motion to nominate Amy Clark and Jonathan Schwartz to the Mosquito Response Committee.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And
My office will be reaching out to you if you can. You already have their contact information,
Yes.
right? So we'll be once we get past the first of the year, we'll be looking to schedule a kickoff meeting for the subcommittee.
Great.
great.
Great. So thank you very much.
So we have all our two public members or members of the community, and then we have everybody else.
Right. Exactly.
So we're good to go?
We are good to go.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
I have two little ones. I'm going to go take care of their bedtime duties right now.
Oh, go right ahead.
Thank you, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Next, we want to nominate John Petrin to the Community Choice Aggregation Committee.
John's not with us tonight, but you have both met John in the past. John was a community representative on the search for the fire chief search, and actually ultimately chaired the search committee. John is a recovering town manager. He retired from Burlington. Prior to that, he was a town administrator in Ashland, and he did community aggregation projects in both communities. And he brings a wealth of knowledge to it. And so that being said,
And he lives in town?
and he lives in town. He lives at Sunset Ridge. Downsized to Sunset Ridge, which I thought was interesting. So, but great resource, and we'd be lucky to have him.
Excellent.
And I've already spoken with Lynn Dishler, and I let her know that she and Sharon and John would probably be the subcommittee, and John felt a three-person subcommittee would be sufficient to do this. And I had already shared with him the suggested timeline to town meeting that Lynn had put together, so he was comfortable with that.
Okay,
Great. I'll make a motion to appoint John Petron to the Community Choice Aggregation Committee.
second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And Mr. Petrie is approved. I should mention that Selectman Stan Warsaki could not be here tonight, and that's why I'm chairing the meeting. So I just want to recognize that event. Next up is Bolton Access Television,
Hello,
Waterley release. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. What's new in the world of Babcock?
Not a whole lot. I mean, we've been super busy, but it's pretty standard stuff. So we did a lot of filming through November. We had a lot of Veterans Day events, and we did quite a few things with the school committee and some talks to the library and COA. So we had a very busy November. So now we're catching up on the editing backlog.
Okay.
Your support of the Hometown Heroes program was great.
Yeah. So we're actually still looking for veterans who are interested in being interviewed, because that'll be an ongoing series. So, if anybody wants to contact us, if they're interested in sharing their story, we're doing that like as an ongoing thing. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and the Veterans Day luncheon was really great. It went really well.
So I got a notice the other day that from Comcast that there was going to be some changes in the fees.
Oh, have you got that notice?
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, it's all in ambiguous terms that I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, does any of that stuff affect their contribution to the town? Or there was some question about what their obligation may change?
I haven't seen that, but I would
Okay.
really love to see that. So everybody has been sort of waiting on pins and needles to find out kind of what's going on with Comcast. So this quarter that we're asking for today was not affected by the FCC order, but the one that we're currently in Q4 is.
Okay.
So yeah, we've all been sort of waiting to find out
Okay.
what the story
If
is.
if I still have that piece of paper at home, I'll
I have
scan
it upstairs.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
perfect.
Yep,
That would be great.
Okay.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll look through it and try to parse what's going on. And,
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything
Yeah,
from them. So.
Okay, give us an update if you get any news
Yeah.
on that, in the next quarter.
Right, yeah, I definitely will. I'll let you guys know
Okay.
what's going on.
So we're looking at releasing $26,674.85.
Yep.
And do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor of releasing the funds to Bolton Access Television, please say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Okay,
thank
thank
you
you.
guys.
Thank you.
You have the check?
Golf tournament size.
I know, it needs to be like table size, right? That'd be the best.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Will you take it all in quarters?
I should have one of those bags with the dollar sign on
There you
it.
go, yeah.
I used that emoji quite a bit.
Oh, nice. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good night. Next up is the town administrative report. Mr. Lowe.
Thank you. So first of all, update on the MassWorks project. By the end of the day tomorrow, I think we'll be shut down for the winter. The last task to get done, last major task was getting I may not always use the right terminology, but the the placements for the masts for where the traffic lights will go. We wanted to get them in, excuse me.
So that's the foundation they poured the foundations for. I saw the one at the southeast corner.
Mhm. I haven't been out since 8 o'clock this morning, but I believe they should be poured now. If not all of them, they will be finished tomorrow. Joe said the plan was wrapping up tomorrow. You'll see, not large area, but some areas of sidewalk that are asphalt rather than concrete. That's because due to the weather, we couldn't get the concrete poured in those areas. We put the asphalt down as a temporary measure so it wouldn't be all mud and whatnot. And then in the spring, the asphalt will be removed and the concrete will be put in. So Joe's very happy with the progress and is comfortable that the project will be finished before June of next year, which will be a year ahead of what the requirement is for the grant.
That's great. Yeah, the snow caught everybody asphalt companies
Mhm.
just shut everything.
Yeah, that was not a pleasant surprise. Next, the Maya Grant Award, as you know, Maya is our carrier now, our provider, and part of,
For what kind-
Insurance.
For what kind of
for
insurance?
building insurance and
Okay.
and whatnot. Yeah, definitely not health insurance. They do offer health insurance, and we're gonna look at potential quote, but I'm not sure we're gonna go anywhere with it.
What does MIAA stand for?
Oh, boy. Massachusetts Insurance, double A.
Okay.
Don't remember
All right, sorry.
exactly.
Sorry,
I should have studied for that.
didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
So, one of them's gonna be association. So, they have what they refer to as a grant program every year. And there are different requirements every year, but, you know, public safety was their focus this year. And we applied for a trailer. I think I may have mentioned early on when we were going to Maya that they have this type of program. So, for $8,638, we got a trailer, 30 cones, and 4 pieces of signage that'll come with it. And for a couple $100, we'll put the town's
Insignia.
insignia, thank you, on it. But, so $8,600 value by submitting our paperwork to do that.
So this is a tow behind two-wheel trailer
Yes.
that will
We can
attach to the back of trucks and stuff like that?
Right, we can deploy to an emergency situation to reroute traffic or whatnot.
Okay.
So, very good value there.
Good.
A reminder that anybody who would like to have coffee with the town administrator may do so from 8:30 to 9:30 tomorrow morning at the Bean. And just 2 other pieces of information. One is the finance team meeting that I have every year as part of our budget planning process is being scheduled for January 7th at 11 a.m. Normally 1 selectman attends. I was going to ask the 3 of you to sort out tonight who it would be. Because sometimes Stan is interested. I know Bob has been interested in the past. I don't know about availability. And we don't have another selectmen's meeting before the 7th, so I think if I can just kind of get a sense, are either one of you interested in
I'd like to attend. Yeah.
Jonathan, would you, okay. If I find out that Stan would really like to be there, we can just post it and have 2, but normally we just have 1 selectman there. And Jenny's organizing that. And then finally, and I can't remember if I sent this email out to you or not, but I did want to let you know that Chief Legendre notified me that he's been contacted regarding the FY20 Massachusetts Firefighter Turnout Gear Grant. Bolton Fire and EMS has been awarded $1,260 in grant funding for purchase and replacement of firefighter protective equipment. And the chief thought, since we're at the end of the year, you might like to know that for in FY20, so it's even only half the year so far, in FY20, our new fire chief has brought in grant funds in the amount of $45,405.
Excellent.
So he's pursuing everything that he can pursue.
He is, congratulations.
Very good.
That's great.
And that is all I have under my report, unless you have any questions for me.
No, you arranged the Tri-Town, which is a public meeting.
Well, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned it. I did
Yeah.
arrange a tri-town, I sent it to the 3 of you. It is a public meeting, it's Wednesday, January 8th at 7 p.m. at the Houghton Building. Anyone who has any agenda items should submit them to Jenny, and we'll make sure that we get them on the agenda. And what we do, there's been some confusion in the past about where agenda items came from, and sometimes the person who's asked for it wasn't there, so it doesn't have an owner. So any agenda items you get from anyone, who just put their name in parentheses next to it, so we know who the requester is.
Okay.
Okay, and what a Tri-Town meeting is a meeting of the selectmen of the 3 towns of the Neshoba Regional School District and the school administration.
Mhm.
So
And
there's-
hopefully school committee members as well.
Yeah, and school committee members also. So it will be here in Bolton.
We haven't had one for
2 years.
2 years.
Martha?
Mr. Chairman, Martha Remington, Main Street, and I'm also representing the Bolton Historical Commission. This is in regard to the update for MassWorks project. It's a very sad update that I wanted you to be aware of, and I wanted it to be mentioned in the minutes. Prior to the commencing of the MassWorks project, I, representing the Historical Commission and the former tree replacement project, which has now been discontinued, spoke with Director Lynch, and he assured me that they were going to make every effort to save the tree in front of 713, formerly 715 Main Street. It's a sweet gum tree, a little under a foot in diameter. And there's also a sweet gum tree that was planted in the tree replacement program at 708 Main Street. Now, Director Lynch had said that they were going to fence around the tree, and because I'd called ahead of time and said I wanted to make sure that tree at the corner of the entrance to the common and Main Street was not going to be disturbed. As it turned out, one half of the root system of each tree was cut off, and the sidewalks are right up next to the trees. This was very disturbing to both Director Lynch and myself and the members of the Historical Commission. I know that trees can perhaps survive if up to a half of their root system is destroyed, but I would like to say that if these trees do not thrive in the next 2 years, I think that the town should make every effort to replace those trees. Probably almost a foot in diameter is unrealistic, but we don't want 1-inch seedlings. They were planted there to beautify the town center in the National Register District, and Director Lynch was, I guess, as shocked as we were to find out that this had happened. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed. And for that matter, the sidewalk, if they grow another 10, 15 years, their roots are going to push the sidewalk up too. So I have no idea why they were quite so close to those root systems. But I just wanted you to be aware that, you know, it's what's done is done, so.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, I don't believe, Director Lynch's fault, because he had been alerted and had given instructions,
Yeah.
especially for the one at 713-15.
I would say, trees do need protection, so fencing should go up before construction starts on a project like this.
And we had been assured, and Director Lynch had, made plans for that to be, especially the one near the new common.
Right.
The other one, not so much, but I was just shocked, and I can't imagine that anybody who liked trees at all would have gone through with that, or not at least warned people about it. I don't know.
So Martha, you said that the tree planting.
The tree replacement program was dissolved 3 years ago, I think,
by
by
its
the
members?
advisory committee. They thought that $3,000 a year was too much to devote to planting new trees around town's streets.
Yeah, so that's I hadn't heard about that. I know on the planning board, I fought to get money from Verizon, and they were cutting, and I think that money was like between $12,000 and $15,000.
There is money available, tree
So-
warden, yeah.
So there
They
is money.
give, I think it's $10,000, for the trees that they have to cut. The point is, these trees should be given a chance to see if they should have a bud set, but, I don't know what else can be done to try and foster the roots that are intact.
Yeah, the issue is, were the roots cut just before the cold weather?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
So-
they were cut, I think, in maybe
Well,
early November.
so,
And the one's not at 708, excuse me, the tenant at 708 has covered that with soil. This one here, nothing has been done to
okay.
help it go, but, you know,
Yeah, if the tree
Mulching
was-
can
yeah.
help.
Yeah, if the tree was already in dormancy, that will lessen the damage.
the leaves had not fallen,
That's,
but they tend to keep their
they
leaves.
keep their leaves a long time.
Yeah.
They're a beautiful tree, I've got one in my yard, also known as the tupelo.
So I just wanted it to be documented
Yeah.
and for people to know. And I'm not here to blame anyone in particular, but it's heartbreaking, it really is.
No, Joe was very disturbed by it, and I spoke with the tree warden about it as well. And the tree warden said essentially what Jonathan said was that, if with proper fencing around it, which should have happened, that would have, the tree would have been protected.
The roots would have been protected.
The roots would have been protected.
Okay,
So,
all right.
Thank
But
you
it's
very
also
much.
like so machines don't damage the bark or
Yeah.
vehicles aren't driving over the roots. Those are all things that can but I just want to circle back and just make sure that the money, when I was on the planning board, and it wasn't that long ago, is still in an account for planting new trees and it's not being used.
yeah, it should be, it should be earmarked for that.
Okay.
Should be.
Because, shade trees are important. They
And
really,
with climate change, the best we can do is keep the trees we have, and people are cutting trees all over the country.
All right,
thank you, Martha.
yeah,
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Any public service announcements?
I don't have one.
I do not.
No, I think, just as a way of keep people informed, it's not the selectmen have nothing to do with this, but I think people should be aware that the school district has put out a press release. They submitted a statement of interest to the Mass School Building Authority last January, and they were informed a day or two ago that they've been accepted into the current round of funding, and they will be moving forward with creating a feasibility committee. That's all we know at this point. It's, they submitted a statement of interest a year ago. It was turned down. They were asked to reapply. They reapplied in January, and they've been invited to the next round of activity. So,
No, that's a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember when the original statement of interest was submitted, Lynn Coletti from Stowe, former school committee member, did quite a bit of work on that, and Lorraine Ramasco did some work on it as well. And what Superintendent Clenchey told us at the time when it was submitted but not approved was that it was well received, and that the wording didn't even really need to be changed. It should just be resubmitted.
Resubmitted as it was.
Right.
It was just,
Right, so it's the original statement of interest, and this time it appears to have been successful. So I think that's, I think it's great that that was such a strong submittal.
okay, so this will be something that's gonna be becoming more visible on the horizon over the next 12 to 16 months.
I'm actually, I shouldn't say just I, the 3 town administrators are meeting with the superintendent next Tuesday, and that'll be the first discussion point, is what we're looking at for milestones and so forth.
Excellent, okay. Very good.
Are you noticing with that funding that regional school districts are favored? Or that's not an issue?
I don't know the MSBA process as it stands today to be able to really speak definitively. It would not surprise me if regional schools were, viewed favorably, but I don't know if they're favored or not. I mean, regionalization in general, the state favors regionalization.
You
I don't know.
In this area, you've got Neshoba, Acton, Boxborough,
Mhm.
Concord, Carlisle, Lincoln, Sudbury,
Mhm.
Algonquin,
Mhm.
all regional school districts,
Mhm.
all of which have built new
And
high schools.
Tohoto.
And Tohoto,
Mhm.
all of which have built new schools in the past 10 years.
That's right, and Minuteman, let's not forget.
And Minuteman, yes. Okay, so, I think regional school systems are very well represented among the MSBA's portfolio of projects.
No, I definitely agree.
Tohonto's a beautiful school.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a beautiful building.
So next item on the agenda is setting meeting dates for 2020.
And we have the slightly modified list in here.
The modification is changing 6th to the 7th, right?
It was the April date.
We also adjusted the April dates, that's right. Because even though I thought we had missed the spring vacation, we had not. So looking at the other dates, it looked like since we meet on March 26th, didn't seem to make sense to meet 1 week later. And then to avoid the spring break. And April tends to be a slower month because we've just finished the warrant and we're leading into town meeting. It looked like we could get away with one date in April, that being the 16th, especially since we'll be meeting again May 7th. So we were recommending one largely so that we could stay out of the April vacation.
Great.
Aside from that, I think we're good to go, so
When is vacation, the week of the 20th?
it is,
Yes.
Yes.
23rd, yeah.
yeah, it was a little later than I thought it was.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen meeting dates for 2020.
Second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, sign the local initiative program applicable for affordable units at Keys Farm.
And
You want to walk us through what this is about, John?
it is the standard document that the state requires. As it says, it's a state housing initiative administered by DHCD to encourage communities to produce affordable housing for low to moderate income. So it supports affordable housing pursuant to Chapter B, Chapter 40B, sorry. So this is just to certify the project.
So this Keys Farm is the Pace project on
Yes,
Hudson Road.
that's right,
So this is the old farmhouse in the front.
yes.
Okay. And this will be affordable forever.
Yes, in
It won't be,
perpetuity.
like, they can't sell it.
No, it should
If they
be.
can't sell it, they can't. What's been happening at Bolton Woods?
I don't believe they can. I think it's in perpetuity. I don't know that, well, I don't know that you can guarantee anything in perpetuity because after some period of time, if it can't be sold, I think there are measures that can be taken, but I think, I don't think it's the same as Bolton Woods Way. If it is, I'm not aware of it.
The other part of this that I asked about is this is not a negotiated agreement between us and the town. This is just boilerplate state regulations.
That's right, it's a very standard document, right, there's no negotiations, no customizing of any kind.
So this came from the planning department? Did
Yes,
Erica look it over?
yes, she has, and council has reviewed it.
Okay.
Does anybody other than the Board of Selectmen need to approve it?
No, at this point, it's the local housing partnership as well, if applicable, but this requires the signature of the chairman of the Board of Selectmen.
Okay.
So you need to authorize Stan to sign it.
And
So,
Erica did send you the entire packet in case anybody was interested in reviewing it.
Okay. My only question is was this typo under the town council fixed?
What typo?
He's not the town council.
Right,
No.
right.
I just don't want to sign something that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, is going to administrate the error on it.
No, I mean, that, I think that was done clearly done in error,
Okay.
and it's not on the signature page either, but we'll certainly get the document cleaned up Monday morning.
Okay.
can we do this just approve it, but with the condition that I just wanna make sure that everything's being done to make sure that this will be affordable going forward as strongly as possible and not. I know that's, everybody's talked about that and that's the intent.
I mean, I can,
Is there a way to do that?
I don't know that there is. I mean, as I said, it's a standard DHCD document. I mean, they don't want things to be taken out. Once we have affordable housing, they don't want it being taken out, so they do that as a last resort, but I don't think I can guarantee you that nothing would ever happen to it, but it certainly would be,
So this is the form we've signed for
Yes.
other recent 40Bs.
yes, it is.
Okay.
So, but I'll certainly speak to Erica about that.
If you can just let us know before Stan signs it.
Sure. No, I'll see Erica Monday.
Is there, so I'll take a motion to authorize Stan Wysocki to sign the local initiative program application for affordable units at Keys Farm.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Next up is vote and execute the agreement between the town of Bolton and the AFS-CME Union Council 93 of the AFL-CIO.
So this has been a while coming. This was we actually signed the MOA last year.
This was for the
DPW, that's right. Yeah, so this was submitted originally in February to the business agent at the time. There's been no issues with the wording or anything like that. It's just been, there's been a couple of changes in business agents as far as representation goes, but I met with them. I met with the current business agent Tuesday, which is when he brought in the signed document. It's identical to the MOA. There's our council has reviewed it. There are no issues. They've reviewed it. There are no issues. The only typo, if you will, was on the cover where they had the new term of the contract, but had not deleted the previous term. So I just crossed it out and initialed it, and I let the business agent know that I would do that.
But let me ask about this last page, the signature page. There's no date on it. Is that a problem?
No. It's
Okay.
not.
All right.
Ready for motion?
Okay.
I'll make a motion to execute the agreement between the town of Bolton and AFS-CME Council 93, AFL-CIO.
Second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you.
So, does Stan sign that, or?
Okay.
Yeah, you all sign. Everyone present. If Stan would like to sign it after the fact, he's welcome to do that, but it just requires 2 signatures. Thank you.
The next up is to vote and execute, this is an annual affair, vote and execute liquor licenses, common vittler license, and class 2 license renewals for 2020. I will quickly read through. The common vittler licenses are for Bolton Orchards, Classic Pizza Free, Colonial Candies, Dunkin' Donuts, Fotini's, Great Brook Farms, Bolton Spring Farm, the International Golf Course, Neshoba Valley Spirits, Subway, and Twin Springs. Are there 2 for Neshoba Valley Spirits?
There are.
There are 2 for Neshoba, okay. Class 2 licenses, Beetlebug 3. For liquor licenses, Bolton Bean, Country Cupboard, Fotini's, the International Golf Course, Day Notes, Neshoba Valley Winery, Slater's, and Twin Springs. Do these require separate votes, or can we?
No, it can be done as a slate.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to execute the liquor licenses as listed by the chairman, common victualler license and class 2 license renewals for 2020.
I'll second that. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, finally, approved payroll bills and payroll warrants, W20-12 and W20-12A. Do I have a motion to approve
So
those?
moved.
I'll second that. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And last, do we have any minutes? We do.
So there's also this notice in here about approving minutes?
So we'll be just taking that up in January.
Oh, okay.
That's just information at this
Okay,
point.
good.
All right, so we have minutes for, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of October 10th regular session, October 24th regular session, and October 24th executive sessions 1 and 2?
So moved.
All those in, second, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Sign first.
Okay. And next we will be going into executive session. We're going into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Chapters 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation, which is a grievance filed by AFS-CME, Council Number 93, DPW Unit. If an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the Board of Selectmen and the Chair so declares, the Board will not reconvene to open session. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second that.
Sorry.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Roll call, Sikansky?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, Dan.
Good, thanks. Thank you all.
Thank you. Good night.